To fully gain a new perspective on what I'm going to be talking about, especially young girls, I want you to listen carefully to this, and I want you to implement everything I say in this video, because I believe that what I did truly benefited me, and I will be talking to you about how significant these small changes in my life actually helped me and develop myself as a person. So I used to be pretty young and impressionable, and so I would consume everything I saw on social media. I was very vulnerable, I was impressionable, I was a fixed-minded person. I would only see things through my own perspective. I had no empathy for anyone whatsoever. And so at about the age of 13, I was like a feminist, a raging fake feminist. And so I just had that persona for a while. I just thought that's who I was, that's who I wanted to be. Anyways, it carried on a few years later, where I started using TikTok quite regularly, and I would spend 6 to 10 hours on TikTok every day. That is insane. All my time was wasted, spent on TikTok. And you know what? My time was wasted, spent on stuff that had a negative impact on my health. And I'll tell you how, because it's actually quite saddening, because I know this quite thing is probably happening to many boys and girls across the world, particularly boys. I know that they can sort of have these stereotypes of women just built in their heads that aren't necessarily true, but it is important to understand that these things aren't reality. And so I would spend a long time on TikTok every day. And as soon as Andrew Tate content started appearing, that had a worse impact on me. I went wild. That started affecting my brain so much, because I just had this idea built inside me that women are inferior, and I don't like this content that I'm seeing. So if I didn't like it, I shouldn't have exposed myself to it. I put myself in that situation. I was the one on TikTok. I could have simply ignored it. But anyways, this hatred towards the comments made by Andrew really altered my perspective on men. Here's where it gets to the crazy bit. This altered perspective on men started to go on my brothers. I started treating my brothers how I would treat these stereotypes. That,
women belong in the kitchen.
Stuff like that. I got angered by that, and you know what? I thought, all men are like this. Here's the thing. This is something that took me a long time to understand. Not all men are like this. It's crazy, isn't it? Not all men are like this. But you are the consequence of your own actions. If you are exploiting yourself to this content, of course it's going to have a negative impact on yourself. Now, what I want you to learn from this is that you got to be really careful with consuming information from social media. None of it's going to be true. It's not reality. It's all going to be a lie. And you know what? I was a girl who said, kill all men. I didn't say it with hatred. I just said it. I just flung that phrase around, and I regret it. That is my mistake in life. And you know, it's such a hurtful word and phrase to just say, because from my development, I've learned that there are good men out there. And here's the thing, I just thought that I needed to make some drastic change in my life. I don't like the way I'm treating my brothers. I don't like the way I think of men. So one day I saw my brother watching Hamza in his bedroom. I went up to him and I was like, what the fuck are you watching? Get that misogynistic shit off. Like, I was actually like irritated. I was like,
why are you watching misogynistic stuff? You fucking misogynist.
and I was so fixed-minded. Like, I just think everything's misogynist because Hamza's a man, he's instant misogynist. So you know what? For one time in my life, I actually thought, you know what? I'm gonna search this man up and actually I'm going to put myself in a different perspective, put myself in a different lens. I'm gonna watch these videos with a different viewpoint. So then I did. That was the best decision of my life, and I've changed for the better. Ever since I've been introduced to Hamza's videos, my mindset, myself, my mentality has changed significantly. And you know what? A man did that. How great is that? A man did that. And he encouraged me to delete social media, to create good habits, to make small changes to your life that will make you successful. Just building habits day by day will help you get where you are. You got to cancel out those bad habits that will stop you from progressing. And so, especially with women and young girls, the self-improvement area does not really exist for us. It is not spoken about, and many young girls do not have good female role models in their lives. And it's quite sad and it's quite disappointing at the same time, because I guess most girls will grow up lost in a sense, and they will grow up not knowing their true purpose and their identity. And this is what's happening in this generation. Young girls do not have female role models, or they do not have good female role models. Some do. A lot of girls do. A lot of girls grow up in a family where their mother is just high valued. But if you search on YouTube, you will not find a lot of women self-improvement people, influencers, teachers. And besides, I've found quite a few. The Wizard Liz is a good one. I like her. Her content is very great. And to be honest, like, girls nowadays, like, they don't know who they are. They really don't. They don't have proper guidance in life. And, you know, especially in the sense where girls don't really have much good role models in their lives, I've had to use male role models to get advice from and to change my life. And that sucks, because they give more masculine advice, mainly targeted for young boys. And I want to be that person to young girls, the role model for young girls that I never got. And I hope to share my stories, to teach you the lessons I've learned in life, and to tell you my stories. And I couldn't say this anymore, but deleting TikTok and social media actually improved my mental health. And I know a lot of people say this and you might think,
Nah, it doesn't.
But I know it's an overrated, overused phrase, but it does. But they'll just say, nah, it didn't. How would you know? Do you want to try? Do you want to see what it does for you for a week? I get my phone taken off me for 2 weeks. I get my phone taken off me for a day. But I've created a tolerance and a habit that I don't care if I get it taken off me. I can be off it for a week, for 2 weeks. And you know, nowadays in this generation, social media consumes everyone. Everyone. When have you walked out in public and not seen one head off their phone? Everyone is face down like this, not socializing. It's so sad. I've literally been in restaurants with 2 partners or a whole family, and they're all looking down at their phones, not socializing whatsoever. This is sad, especially even in when your parents are like outside doing something, and you're just in your room on your phone all day being a lazy person. And you know what? They're probably out there waiting for you to talk to them, waiting to connect with their child. They'll be like, where did this connection go? What happened to the good days when they were younger, when they were kids, when they were happy, when they were playing outside all the time? Where'd my child go? Where'd my daughter, where'd my son go? This is what phones have done to kids. Fully stripped away their identity. Most people don't even know their purpose in life. And to find your purpose, you need to know who you are. And you know what? Young men out there are so lucky and privileged to have such great male role models like Ayman Ghazi, Hamza, Andrew Tate to an extent. I'm sure there's more I just can't name off the top of my head. But a lot of women in this generation look up to artificial female influences. Like Cardi B, for example, Nicki Minaj, Ice Spice, Kylie Jenner. They are all superficial. How do you expect to be a woman getting advice from them? And I feel like young girls will not try and seek advice from actually fully successful women, because you know why? They won't relate to them. And whereas yous will relate to me more, because the successful women, they speak terminology that you won't even understand. They'll just say,
you gotta get tons of plastic surgery to actually look like a model, then you just get paid by posting pictures on Instagram.
no, there's other ways that you can be successful. And a lot of the ways are just finding your purpose in life. It's very important. Very important.